Hey guys, so this is my 2008 Toyota Camry, and it's a V6 engine, and I'm replacing the spark plugs on the back side. So I know there are a few videos where people try to push their hand inside and try to get to it, but in my experience, guys, it's not worth it. The time you're gonna spend going all the way, injuring your hand, hurting and all that stuff, it's better to remove all this. I know it looks complicated, but it's probably very easy. I mean, if you know how to remove screws, you're going to be much more easier removing this part, getting in there, getting your job done, and be done in a much faster way than to struggling with the wires and getting your hands behind and all this stuff. So highly recommend going that route. So to start with the 14mm nut, and this is it. So remove the two from the wiper blades, and then there are screws that start removing those screws, so you can get this panel out of the way. Both hands. Well, it comes out like this, and I'm going to go ahead and start removing it. So now, since I have the wipers removed, just unscrew these. These are kind of like plastic tabs, so once you loosen them up, it kind of comes off like this. And there is one more on the other end. So once you have the side two screws off, there are clips at the very bottom, and you can see there are kind of like, there are a few around, so just kind of lift it, and then once you remove the clips, this should come off easily. And make sure you guys keep it in orientation so you remember. So now this is the entire mechanism that kind of runs the wiper system. So we're going to start removing these screws, and this whole thing will just lift up because we have to remove the bottom part. Okay, so I lifted this mechanism, and there are 4 screws that's holding this on, and there are rubber grommets, so make sure you guys don't lose these grommets. They kind of stay on top, and just take out the screws, and this thing lifts right off. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove these screws and the 2 on top, and there's one right here, and I think there might be one on the corner. I got this nut out. You also have to remove this one, I forgot. This is all one piece, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I also removed the electrical harness. There was a clip right here, and this is the one that goes to the wiper assembly, this right here. And get this out of the way, and let me go ahead and remove this. This is a 14mm. You may have to use a ratchet. These are highly torqued, so make sure you put them back first. Okay, everything is out, and I'm just going to lift it out. And the edges are pretty sharp, so make sure you don't cut it. There's also this drainage line. We're going to have to make sure we put this drain line back, and that's pretty much it. I think that's probably a good time to clean if you have a drain blockage or anything like that. So we're ready to work. Okay, so now we're gonna have to remove this air intake because our spark plugs are right there, and to remove this, you're gonna have to remove these 4. These are like kind of like hex, and then we have 2 at the very end, and then we have 2 on the back side. So to remove the intake, we also have to remove the throttle body and the filter manifold. So I'm going to get rid of all this. Make sure you guys keep track of how these pipes are coming. These are vacuum lines, and you definitely don't want to lose track of where they go. So you may want to start recording yourself or disconnecting stuff, and just keep track of it so you can always go back and connect it the way it was supposed to be. So I undid the clips. There are 3 clips right here. I undid my mass airflow sensor, loosen this up so I can remove this. Also, I removed this vacuum hose that is going to my air intake, and I'm gonna have to undo this vacuum line. And if some of the vacuum lines are not coming off, guys, make sure you give it a nice twist before you pulling it off. And this plier comes in very handy, just by grabbing it and giving it like a turn. Kind of helps loosening things up a little bit. Okay, I decided to remove this piece first so you don't break anything. So I just loosened this up, and the air filter housing and the mass airflow sensor came out. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out. And this is what's holding this. I'm going to go ahead and remove this clip and get that out of the picture. Okay, so I removed this housing. Again, there was just a clip and the vacuum line. This vacuum line came from here and pretty much came right off. I had to remove this clip. So now we are ready to remove the throttle body, and for you to remove the throttle body there are 4 screws that you can see, and just remove these 4 screws and get these lines out of the way. Again, keep track of the lines because you're gonna have to connect it the way they're supposed to be. So also remove this electrical connection so you can take the throttle body out. Okay, so to remove the throttle body I removed the 4 screws. And guys, one thing I couldn't see this, there's another one. So there's one with the yellow tape, I don't know, the plastic roundups, and then there's another one, black one, that's on the back side. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this clip. Okay, so after I removed the throttle body, I removed these screws. So these two, well, these 4 in the middle and the 2 at the end, I removed those. So now I think I'm ready to remove the backside 2 screws. The connector I'm going to remove is this guy. There's another hose right here. I think I'm going to leave mine connected since I'm going to just flip this on this side, but I just want to show you guys the bolt is right here, this guy right here. So I've already, it's a 13 millimeter. I've already undid this, so you'll probably need like a long wrench and an angular wrench if possible, and I can just get this out. I got the other side bolt out, and I want to show you where's this bolt right here. So if you're coming from the top of the engine, right by this is the bolt that you're going to be removing. In none of the videos I saw it clear. So this is the bracket, and this is, so I got this bolt out. It wasn't too bad with all this room. It's so much easier. And just one thing, guys, on the other side is a 13 millimeter, on this side is a 12 millimeter. I'm not sure why, but that's how it is. And I think at this stage we're ready to remove the air intake manifold. You can see this comes loose, and you can lift it right up. I'm just going to flip it over, and as you can see on mine there is some debris, so I think I'm going to cover the holes and try to clean all this. If you can get the new gaskets, I would recommend getting one. And we'll be ready to do these spark plugs, which is right here. Okay, so I covered the opening for the manifold, and I'm going to go ahead and remove So I'm going to go ahead and remove these 3 coil. These are the 3 coils. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these connectors on the coil, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove these 3 nuts. I think these are number 10, and then pull the coil out. That will give us access to the spark plugs. So guys, one thing I can almost guarantee you, that if you have high mileage on your car, you're going to break the clips, or either one of them or 2 or all 3, you know, don't be surprised. But if you do, don't worry about it. Just once you're done replacing the spark plugs, make sure just wrap some tape. I can do these in any order, doesn't really matter. We're gonna have to take this bracket off there. So just something I learned is to remove the air intake housing, I could have either taken the bottom one out that I just took out, which would have taken out this entire bracket with the thing. Okay, so I got this 5/8, and maybe we'll just drop the whole thing. See if I can get this out with the magnet. There you go. Okay, so I got the new spark plugs. Now these are pre-gapped. I'm using the Denso genuine radium plugs, and you're not supposed to gap these, so guys, make sure you do not gap these, otherwise you're gonna damage the... Sorry, my camera died, so I got the spark plug in, and I'm just going to tighten this first by hand, and make sure you torque it to 13 foot-pound. Okay, so guys, pretty much the same process to undo the second one and then the third one. I don't think I'm going to film all three. You guys got the point. Okay, so I replaced all the spark plugs and I put the coils back in. I torqued the inside of the spark plug 13 foot-pound torque, and this one is 7 foot-pound torque. The coils. Okay, I'm ready to put the air intake on. I cleaned this with a clean cloth and put this bracket on, and everything is connected. Just double check. This pipe is gonna go right here underneath, and I think we're ready to flip this thing over and install this throttle body, and then connected the hoses. There are 2 hoses. Hopefully you kept track of those hoses. Connected that, connected this back in. It was electrical connection that I plugged back in. Then I put this piece in front of it, made sure I connected the hoses that were coming in. Make sure you connect all the vacuum hoses. This is the one that was coming from the bottom, that goes right here. And at this point I'm ready to install the filter box with the mass airflow sensor, and all these connections will be connecting to that. Guys, make sure to vacuum this out, clean it out while you have everything open, and just double check yourself, make sure you don't leave any electrical connection. Please put the mechanism back in the reverse order, and guys, make sure you tighten these up really good, and connected all this back. Again, double check, the one wire was here and the long wire that you saw before was the harness for the wiper blades, and make sure everything, all the hoses, everything is correct. So lastly, I think I'm going to go ahead and put those screws back in. Guys, I apologize, my camera died, but in the reverse order, you're going to put everything back the way you took it out. Just keep track of all the screws that you remove, and you should be good. And guys, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you.